Behind me is the city of Dubai, and included in the skyline is the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. In front of me is Maidan, the biggest grandstand that has ever been built on any racecourse on the planet. And we're here to celebrate the Dubai World Cup, the richest race day that the world has ever seen. 30 million US dollars. And of course, South Africa has got 8 horses that will participate on this beautiful day. Starting off with the Paul Lafferty trained Harry's son. He runs in the Dubai Turf along with Urtijol and Forry's Waltz, both of whom will be trained by Mike de Kock. It would be remiss of me not to include a horse called Special Fighter. He was an absolutely spectacular victor of the third leg of the Maktoum Challenge. He's a son of Teofilio and he's trained by Musabbah Al Muhairi. He's ridden by a jockey who's already won the Dubai World Cup on Invasor. So let's first of all catch up with his trainer Musabbah and thereafter take a look at some of his work to see why he has to be exceptional value at 25 to 1. This time last year, yes, did you imagine this horse would be a World Cup runner?
No. This horse last year he come to me and I ran him one time. After that the season is finished. I take him to China. You know, they put him in that race and he surprised me when he won that race, because in that race is very good horses, very famous horses, and he won easy. After that the jockey Sylvester de Souza, he told me, boss, you have Group 1 horse for next year. Say inshallah. When I come, you know, I told to my team, I told them I think next season we will have a good horse to run in big race.
Now the way he won the Maktoum Challenge was unbelievable. He's had a bit of bad luck in previous races. He spread a shoe, but he really showed you that he's the real deal this time.
You know, I ran him first time. He's still not ready. He finished second. And second time he won. After that, I ran him in long distance with good horses, and he finished sixth. After that, I ran him with the Frosted in 1900, but bad luck, he lose the shoes. Okay, and he finished also sixth. After that, I say, okay, I will keep him for last. I run him again. He won 1900, and I say, okay, I will put him. I keep him for Maktoum Challenge round 3 on Super Saturday, and sure, he's surprise for everybody. But for me, I know one time he can win easy.
But the first race that we'll see on Dubai World Cup night is the Godolphin Mile. And there is a horse called Prayer for Relief, a horse that will be ideally suited to a fast pace. And Mike de Kock tells us how he's expecting Prayer for Relief to run in a very specialized race that he's won on 3 separate occasions with Grand Emporium, with Soft Falling Rain, and of course most recently with Variety Club.
He probably needs a bit of prayer. He's a horse that I think could be in the money. We've tried a few different things in training with him, trying to get him a little sharper. We'll see how he goes. I like his draw actually, 10 out of 10, because then he can sort of just stay out of a bit of trouble. He's a horse that likes to come from off them, sit deep. He takes a lot of kickback, which I don't like. But you know, again, we've got to ride him for luck and see if he can get in the money.
Then we move on to the Gold Cup, in which he's got the tried and tested stayer Star Empire, the evergreen Star Empire, and he just seems to be getting better like a good red wine. Then to a certain extent there's the unknown quantity of Tolina. Not quite good enough to win a grade 1 race over 1800 or 2000 or even a mile and a half. But Mike de Kock believes that 3,200 meters will be right up the alley of the son of Silvano.
I think he'll get the 2 miles. Clearly his last run he'll get it. Ryan was very confident he would on his last run. So he's had a great prep, so has Star Empire. I think they're very exposed. What you see is what you get. We've got a few that have shipped in that are raising the game to the carnival standard in terms of the French horse, and obviously the horse that ran in the Melbourne Cup. So again, I think if they can run in the first 4, it's huge.
Then we move on to the United Arab Emirates Derby. This is a race that Michael de Kock has won 6 times, and he has a beautiful filly called Valdori, who'll be running in the race. She's only had one start this term, but she executed her performance with exemplary style, and Mike believes that she'll come on in leaps and bounds from that start. Then we've got the Dubai Turf, as we said, Harry's son, Urtijol and Forrie's Wealth, all three live runners. They have to beat Trista. Can you separate Urtijol and Forrie's Wealth at this stage?
Well, on form, Forrie's Wealth is the better horse.
Yeah.
And the form remained so throughout the carnival. There's not a lot between them, probably lucky in running.
Lef, I don't know if you're pinching yourself as hard as I'm pinching myself, because I just actually can't believe that this all has come to fruition after so many years of attending this great meeting. Paul Lafferty has a runner in the second richest race on the whole card and one of the richest races in the whole world.
Yeah, it is a dream come true. You know, we planned to get out here one day. You know, we've obviously admire Michael de Kock and the pioneers like Alec Laird and people like that who went out and took their horses overseas. And it's always been an ambition of mine to get out here and race horses. And if you haven't the quality, you just can't. And with Harry's son, we've got a horse who can hold his own just about anywhere in the world, and he's done us proud.
Quite interestingly enough, I was having a chat to one of your former apprentices, Zahn Thompson, who's a man that I have huge respect for in terms of his experience. And he says, anybody who thinks Harry's son is a good horse is wrong. He's a great horse. He says he gives him an absolutely incredible feel.
Yeah, he is, you know, Bonsi, when you look at his record, and if he has one chink in his armour, he hates very soft ground. And we saw that in the Classic last year. That's the only time he didn't finish in the first four. He ran fifth. He's just a real tough horse. He's running stakes races since he won his maiden. He's locked horns with horses all over the place. This is obviously his toughest test to date. But Bonski, he was the 2-year-old a year. He was an unlucky. He should have won 3 Group 1s. And that's not a bold statement. It's a fact. He should have won 3 Group 1s as a 2-year-old. And I remember him winning the Guineas in Joburg. He never took a deep breath, and he beat French Navy. So comfy. He's had top horses behind him, multiple Group 1s behind him all over the world, wherever he's gone. And he's come in here and he's done us proud. But Zahn's 100% right, having had a Group 1 winner with Lovestruck.
The horse that brought tears to your eyes while you were here.
Absolutely, the same horse. And a Lovestruck was a very good horse. You know, funny enough, the horse he beat, Talina, to win the SA Classic, is running here in the big race. But Harry is a much better horse than Lovestruck. A horse who doesn't know how to do things wrong. He's bulletproof. He's laid back. He's got all the attributes of a very good horse. And obviously there are a lot of horses against him who are very, very good horses. So it's just wonderful being here, and great for my bunch of owners. A whole bunch of friends own him, which is a big plus.
The costs associated with getting the horse here are absolutely astronomical. You took an unconventional route. You make friends all over the world. You make friends all over the world, but I think hats off to Jim Boyle for opening his yard and opening his heart to Team Lafferty.
Jim Boyle's a wonderful human being. He's a racehorse trainer, he's a vet, he's a knowledgeable man, and he's one of the boys. He really is a good guy, and the more people like that you can meet can only enrich your life. He's done us proud. He's a real soldier, and I'm a good friend of Jim Boyle's. I make a point every time I go and visit the family to spend some time with him. Him, myself, Mike, we'd always go for a few beers together. And he's done us proud. He really bent over backwards to accommodate Harry and Royal Navy ship in England. And if the horse has any degree of success, he certainly has contributed to it.
You know, chatting to Roy outside the quarantine station yesterday, he was quite emphatic about one thing, that Harry's son, Big Match Temperament, is just in a league of its own, because it's almost as if you had the vision. Earlier on in his career, you travelled him from Durban to Johannesburg to Cape Town. You were never afraid of standing on the runway in the middle of the night.
No, when one looks back on his career, some people might say, well, listen, you gave him a tough task to do, but did he fail us? No. You know, people forget, in between winning big races in Gauteng, we went down to Guineas. You know, he stood on the tarmac for 3 or 4 hours. He only got to the race course at 10. And he ran second in a very good race to a top horse. And that's where I must mention Pierre Straden. Pierre elected to stay with us, and that's why we've been loyal to him. He's been extremely loyal to us. He lost out on a Guineas winner by staying with this horse who ran second. But, you know, he's the type of horse that, funny enough, initially through his career, every horse who ever beat him, next time he met them, he beat them. He's just a horse who knows what to do. And obviously it's a huge, huge challenge for us here. But it's just, as Peter Sellers said, being there is important.
I asked Roy in your absence while you were in transit, would he change anything? And he said, well, Harry has just taken every bit of work I've thrown at him. He's adapted beautifully, and I thought he's looking exceptional.
Yeah, he does. His coat's outstanding. And Roy's done an absolutely marvellous job. When you consider he's left his family, he's gone all over the world with this horse. He spent months in Mauritius with him. He's been via France to Jim Boyle's yard. He's been here with him. And I don't think the story ends here. We've had offers to, there are races that we're looking at. Hong Kong especially, we've nominated. There's 3 nominations for 2 horses, the mile and the 10 furlong. We're seriously looking at America. There's in September in Keeneland, there's $1 million race that would suit him. There's another $1 million race a month later. There's Breeders' Cup, and it might still be a little bit of a pipe dream, but we have to plan it, and that's where we're at the moment. All the owners will sit down together. We'll get everyone to put in their little input, and we'll suggest what we think is right. And it's been a joint decision all the way through. We've always kept the owners up to speed with their decisions. Even our use of jockeys, we discussed it amongst everybody, and we're all on the same plane.
Well, I have to say that Warren Rippon dreamt big by bringing his entire family to watch Sun Classic. Holly, Jan, Amy Dip are arriving. Yeah. I mean, to have the Let's Go travel team behind you, you must lie in bed and think to yourself, am I dreaming this or is this real?
Yeah, you realise it's real because you and I have been here with Phil Georgia for over a decade, and we're well entertained here. We have a great time. But now you come here, every second guy stops you for a quote, an interview, a photograph, just because you've got a horse in the race. We haven't got the favourite, we're 20-1. But it's just the international stage is a big stage.
With Solo out, you've obviously got an undeniable chance of victory. Everybody's talking about Tristo, the way he's been winning. But there are also chinks in his armour in terms of his history. When it comes to the stall gates opening, you know that you're going to be very, very close to Urtejol, if not in front of him. And Solo's obviously not a factor. So where do you realistically think on paper Harry's son can finish, Lef?
4th. Maybe 4th, I think, somewhere around there. We're hoping for 4th. Anything above it's a bonus. But we do know he's a fighter, and he's going to fight. And he's starting to show us that 10 furlong won't be beyond him. I remember the great horses of yesteryear. Frankel springs to mind, how they raced him over shorter. And at the end of his career, they decided, we have to try this trip. Now, making comparisons with Harry's son and Frankel are completely stupid. But from our little dynasty of racing, we've got to look at the 10 furlongs themselves. So I know there's going to be pace. Obviously, Charlie Appleby's favourite is going to have to come from off them from draw 2. We're drawn 9. I think 2 are pacemakers. One's going to come from behind. So it's pulled us into 5-6 in our opinion. Anthony must just get him a clear run up the stretch, and let's hope we get a check.
Probably the best bet on the card is in the Shima Classic, and that's where the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, when are postponed, takes his place in the lineup. He really is an absolute superstar. And then the $10 million Dubai World Cup. The warm favourite for the race is California Chrome. He was victorious in 2 legs of the American Triple Crown. He failed at the 3rd hurdle, but he was Eclipse Horse of the Year in America, and he certainly has turned the corner compared to his 2nd last year behind Prince Bishop. He's a different horse, and Art Sherman thinks that he's going to be a very, very hard horse to beat, and who would we be to disagree? Then, of course, there's the Godolphin-trained Frosted. He has lots of collateral form with Mubtahij on their runs in America. He was absolutely scintillating in the 2nd leg of the Maktoum Challenge and hasn't been seen out since then. Mubtahij himself was a trifle disappointing in his comeback run, improved considerably in his 2nd run, and Mike believes he'll be absolutely spot on for Dubai World Cup night.
Well, he's ready, he's fit. He's gone around here enough times, he knows where he is. If they fluff their lines, he'll be all over them. But I'm not quite sure he's got close to Frosted and horses like that. There hasn't been a lot in it, but they were always sort of had the edge on him in America. If he runs to form, he'll be all over them again, and Lucky Run will be everything. But there's California Chrome to deal with as well. Far cry from a Liz's Desire. It's a much, much, much stronger field.
So all said and done, they're racing for $30 million US. And this is the richest race meeting on the planet. Andrew Bonn, a great pleasure to be reporting for SAP.